How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, born to battle. Star on our chest means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the angry Cowboys fan. And Cowboys Nation, when I break down film, I very seldomly give love to the ones who make this defense go, and that's the defensive line, more specifically, the defensive tackles. That when we get blown out during the game or it's a high-scoring game because the entire defense gets boat raced, some get lost in the mix of incorporating everyone in the loss and not breaking down the individual play and how they contributed to the team. With that being said, I've been hearing the little rumblings of letting one of our defensive players go during free agency via trade or even a release. A player whom some thought would be the complete answer to all our run-stopping capabilities. The player who we received in the Micah Parsons trade, and that's Kenny Clark. Some fans have been talking about releasing Kenny Clark in order to save about $21.5 million. Some fans are saying that Kenny Clark has sucked since week 2 and week 3 after we acquired him from that Micah Parsons trade. Some fans have even gone on record to say get rid of him as well as Osa Odighizuwa. Well, Cowboys Nation, I am here to argue why you should consider to keep your defensive interior intact during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
I'm being keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. Everybody says that the battle is won at the line of scrimmage. The battle is won in the trenches. So you're going to want every dog that you could get for the trenches to be on this team. We also see that the few Super Bowl appearing teams in the past had dominated the core of their interior defensive front. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis of the Philadelphia Eagles comes to mind. Chris Carter and Derek Nottie also come to mind for the Kansas City Chiefs. The power radiates from the interior of their defensive front. With the addition of Quinnen Williams, this has made the defensive front for the Dallas Cowboys that much better. The interior with Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark makes the motor for this defensive front go, especially in a 5-man front, Cowboys Nation. Speaking of the 5-man front, Cowboys Nation was able to witness the effectiveness of the 5-man front at the beginning of the Vikings-Cowboys game this past week. Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and Osa Odighizuwa were out on the field at the same time. All the plays that I'm about to break down involved having Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and Osa Odighizuwa out on the field together, resulting in positive plays for our defense. One resulted in an interception. So I want to show y'all the film and come back and give you my raw and uncut about what I saw and why keeping Kenny Clark is the best option for our Dallas Cowboys moving forward. All right, Cowboys Nation. This is the first 2 plays from the Minnesota Vikings' first possession. Game started. These are the first 2 plays, and in both plays, this one is going to see a 4-man front, and then you're going to see a 5-man front in the second play, which turns into a turnover for the Dallas Cowboys. But in this play, the Minnesota Vikings come out in 12 personnel. They're going to come out in 12 personnel, and the player that I want you to keep your eye on, other than the trenches, is Logan Wilson. I want you to keep your eyes on both Logan Wilson and the trenches because the trenches does its job, especially Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams gets pressure into the backfield that causes Aaron Jones to change the inside zone and to bounce it to the outside. But the thing is, this could have been a no-gainer or a tackle for loss if Logan Wilson had filled his gap instead of DeMarvion Overshown. So let's go ahead and run this play real quick. We're going to see the tight end go in motion. We see that the Dallas Cowboys defense is in zone because of the shift. And they snap the ball right here. Logan Wilson should be breaking toward the line of scrimmage in order to stop this run. But you see DeMarvion Overshown right here. He fills his gap. right here from Quinnen Williams, the double team that he gets pushed into the backfield to be able to disrupt this inside zone and have it turn into an outside zone because he had to, bump it to the outside. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to have the offensive tight end go into motion, come back. Everybody gets to their rightful positions, and I'm going to pause it where Logan Wilson should be breaking to the ball. Boom, right here. Logan Wilson should be breaking to the ball right in this gap. This should be your assignment. Maurice Leofau, shoot this gap. This should be your assignment, and this could have went for either no gain or a tackle for loss. But you'll see that Logan Wilson hesitating until he gets flushed out of the play by everybody around the ball. This is something that can't happen. This is something to where you need more of an NFL, a football IQ to be able to shoot that gap and to stop the play. This second play right here, this is going to show you the five-man front. The five-man front that showed success for the Dallas Cowboys defense. Yes, you have Quinnen Williams right here, you have Kenny Clark right here, and you have Osa Odighizuwa in the middle. That is your strong front, Cowboys Nation. I'm going to keep it a buck. That interior defensive line, that is your stronghold right there. And they do their job to a T. And what the defense, Matt Eberflus, is going to do, he is going to exchange Donovans. Donovan Ezaraku is going to back up into coverage while Donovan Wilson over here blitzes the quarterback, gets a play on the ball, and with the football IQ of Quinnen Williams, he was able to locate the ball, track the ball, fall into his arms, and get an interception. Check it out. All right, they're going to snap the ball. You're going to see Donovan Ezaraku right back here, drop back into coverage, and Donovan Wilson right here go for the blitz. Get a hand on the ball, boom, and cause the interception. A Quinnen Williams interception, defensive line interception. But also, let's see if we can go back real quick to the beginning of this play. Up at the top, Donovan Wilson is going to break in for the blitz. But who's covering this man out here? This is zone coverage, so you got your single high safety that could be help to the guy down there, but he's not going to get there in time if he does a hitch route. So it is the responsibility of Logan Wilson to get out there and make a play on it. Let's take a look at it again. You see Logan Wilson right here shimmying over there. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. If Donovan Wilson hadn't been there, this would have been a completed pass. But seeing the fact that Donovan Wilson got a hand on it, he was able to go. But you'll take a look at it right here. You'll take a look at the shimmy from Logan Wilson. If Logan Wilson would have went full speed over to the wide receiver to the left, if Donovan Wilson didn't get a hand on it, this could have potentially been a pick six by Logan Wilson. Check it out. This could have been a pick six by Logan Wilson, but his hesitation trying to now. All right, Cowboys Nation, in this play is in the next series for the Minnesota Vikings. But one player on the Dallas Cowboys I really want you to pay attention to is the guy that y'all want to get rid of this offseason, in Kenny Clark. We go right there. We see that they're in the five-man front again, and there's 13 personnel with the Minnesota Vikings. Kenny Clark is going to get his hands on the center. He's playing that nose tackle position. He's going to get his hands on the center's pad level before the center can get his hands up on Kenny Clark's pad level. That top heaviness from Kenny Clark to the center is what's going to cause the center to have messed up center of gravity, and for Kenny Clark to just push him over to get to the running back and get a tackle for loss. Check it out. As soon as this ball is hiked, he has his hands on his pads, pushing him back to get to the running back for a 4-yard loss, Cowboys Nation. This is who we're talking about getting rid of. Like I said, pay attention. Right now, we're going to pay attention to number 95 at the nose tackle position in Kenny Clark. On the field right now, you have right here Osa Odighizuwa, nose tackle Kenny Clark, and then you have Quinnen Williams right beside him. The three dogs that make the interior of that defensive line special. So let's go ahead and run the play. Keep your eye on number 95. When that ball is centered, look where he positions his hands, Cowboys Nation. This is high football IQ. Check it out. Boom. He is able to get off the ball. When that ball is centered, he's able to get off that ball. No penalties, no encroachment penalties. Able to get off the ball, have his hands at pad level on the center before the center can get his hands on Kenny Clark. And he's able to push him back, shed the block, and get to the running back for a tackle for loss. Cowboys Nation, this is who we're talking about getting rid of this offseason, and I believe it is 150% a mistake. Cowboys Nation, one thing that I don't get from some Cowboys fans is the fact that we want to get rid of weapons that we get for this team in order to get more draft picks or something. Trade players who are established and effective in the league for younger players who are projected to be something coming out of college. Sure, we have Quinnen Williams emerging as a strength for this defensive tackle position, but why have Batman when you can also have Robin by his side? And yes, Kenny Clark carries with him a $21.5 million cap hit for the 2026 season, but the Dallas Cowboys could either reconstruct his contract or present him with a new deal that will give the Dallas Cowboys more time to use his services, as well as significantly lower his cap hit and spread it throughout the length of a new deal. And I know $21.5 million sounds like a lot of money, but what price would you pay in order to have a dominant defensive front, Cowboys Nation? Sure, you could try and draft another defensive tackle, but who's to say that won't turn into another Mozzie Smith? Plus, this Dallas Cowboys team is in dire need of secondary and linebacker help that they can acquire through either the draft or free agency this year. Seeing that we don't have much early draft capital to use in this upcoming draft, why get rid of a player like Kenny Clark? Could you find another defensive tackle in free agency that wouldn't cost as much as Kenny Clark? Yeah, sure you could, but would that also mess up the continuity of your defensive front? Plus, the only key offensive weapons that we need to extend are George Pickens and Brandon Aubrey. Javonte Williams, he can be replaced if needed, even though I'd like to see Javonte Williams back with the Dallas Cowboys next year. But what I'm trying to say is that a majority of the Dallas Cowboys' resources can be used to fortify the defense, and I believe that starts with renegotiating Kenny Clark's deal and bringing him back with a lower cap hit for 2026. But not only does Kenny Clark serve as a dominant piece for the defensive front, he also brings another defensive leader within the locker room. Alongside Quinnen Williams, I believe these two guys can be the driving force for this defense moving forward, Cowboys Nation. So, if I were Jerry and Stephen Jones, I would be figuring out ways to reconstruct Kenny Clark's contract and how to get him a brand new deal. Experience, power, humility, and a high football IQ in one player, that doesn't grow on trees, Cowboys Nation. They could try to be the smartest guys in the room once again, but look where that's landed the Dallas Cowboys team. But Cowboys Nation continuously talks about the Super Bowl and how we need to get back to it, how we need to get back to an NFC championship game. We talk about what this team needs to sacrifice in order to get back to those glory days. Getting dogs on this team only to turn around and get rid of them because, their cap hit's kind of scary. That's not the way to go, Cowboys Nation. In my personal opinion, we shouldn't be talking about getting rid of either Kenny Clark or George Pickens. We should be talking about getting rid of Matt Eberflus and finding a defensive coordinator that can mold his scheme around the talent that he already has on the team. This is what Jerry, Stephen Jones, as well as Will McClay looks for in acquiring player talent. They look for flexibility. So moving forward, we're going to need to have a coaching staff that has that same type of flexibility. We've seen it work in the past with Dan Quinn. Now let's see if it works again, but this time, capitalize off the top 10 offense and defense that we have. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you think about either getting rid of or keeping Kenny Clark? Do you feel that the Dallas Cowboys will be good with just Oso Digizawa and Quinnen Williams at the defensive tackle position? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share the content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will almost guarantee that we'll get out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll see the content, want to join the Angry Cowboys fan family so we can root on our Dallas Cowboys together. And if you are DC for life and you want this Dallas Cowboys team to keep Kenny Clark, sign George Pickens, as well as get Brandon Aubrey's contract done, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. And if you want to watch my Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay, you can head over to the ACF Gaming channel, where I'll be uploading all kinds of Dallas Cowboys gameplay and much more. I'll put the link to the channel in the description. But Cowboys Nation, I am a fond believer that if you strike gold in a player, you want to do whatever it takes in order to keep said player on your team. I know people chalk up the success of the entire defense as Kenny Clark sucking, but if you watch his individual play, you'll see that he can be a complete asset to this Dallas Cowboys team moving forward. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.